Ooh. I can now receive guest requests. Be our guest. Be our guest. Can we just talk about coffee cups? Shouldn't coffee cups, like most people pick them up by their right hand, so shouldn't the words be here? I mean, can we just get a coffee cup vote on that? So then I have to hold it up this way so people know that I am the Gigi. Yes. All right, so state law is you guys have to tell us, what are they telling us, Alicia? Alicia doesn't know. She's landing the plane. No, nobody's listening to me. Hi.
Alicia doesn't know. What are we, wait.
Oh.
What, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Why was there feedback? Okay, you're supposed to all tell us where you're from and what the temperature is. That's my new thing, what the temperature is. Hi, Donna Banana. How are you, dear? Donna, your haircut is good. Donna, are we going to see you Friday? We need to see you Friday. We're going to talk about what's going on Friday. So we're going to talk tonight about the press conference in Dallas and all of the stuff. I know you guys want to know about the stuff about the press conference and the little... is that the great special education RN? I love her. I know her. Donna's coming. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, 69 degrees Forney. Dallas, 58 degrees. So tell us in the comments if you guys are coming to the press conference in Allen ISD. I'm about to stick this up my nose. Creating successful IEPs. I feel like I know her. 66 degrees in San Antonio. What's going on there? Look, they're all going to be there, all the peoples. You'll be watching. Yes, we're going to go live. We have for sure Fox News, for sure other people. See how I nailed that down? Other people. Yes, and then we will Baytown. Baytown, are you near the Buc-ee's? 41 degrees. Oh, it's a no for me. Oh, pull ya up. Is that really a name? P-U, y'all up. Some places 44 degrees. Just joining what is happening in Florida. I don't know what is happening in Florida. Does anybody know what's happening in Florida? I don't know. So a block away from Buc-ee's. Yes.
I haven't heard about anything happening in Florida.
In Florida. Yes. Okay, so we're going to ask a few questions, and then we're going to have parent jump on, and we're going to talk about our press conference in Dallas. Who's coming Friday? Just raise your hand or make some sort of fancy emoji. Or is that what the kids say? Do they say emoji? Bonnie, just shake your head. Do they still say that? No, I don't know. Is that what they say? I don't know. You guys could all skip work Friday. Come on. I mean, how far can it be from where you're... Okay. Question, Shannon?
Wow. Okay. Shannon, you ready?
Shannon, Alicia, wow.
I'm ready. So we've got one here from Special Education RN. School is refusing to test and also refusing to allow IEE. Where do I go?
Okay, so when you said they're refusing to test, it's initial testing, data testing. Give us some more information. The press conference is at Allen Independent School District at 612 East Bethany Drive. I'm sure all of my fans here on the volunteer board will put that in there. So it's Allen ISD, 2 p.m. Friday in the Dallas area at 612 East Bethany Drive, Allen, Texas, 75002. And no, they won't let me any snacks unless you bring snacks. How do you hire? Oh, I was going to answer my own question, but I'm not allowed to do that. Okay, go ahead. I almost touched the phone, which is I'm not allowed to do.
Refusing the initial and the IE.
Okay, so what does the PWN say? Have you received the PWN yet? And I would want to know what amazing school district it is. Depending on what the amazing school district is, I would reach out for either the director or reach out. A lot of times when I'm in a district, ask for the number for the attorney because it's a role.
Hey. How's it going?
How's it going, ma'am?
Oh, so good. So excited.
You guys, everybody say hi to Christina. She is Let's IEP Together. She has the best content if you want to steal it. So good. Very duetable. She's ridiculously amazing. And so Disheveled Mama, you don't need a certification to be an advocate. We would like for you to have good training, though. So we are having a press conference this Friday in Allen ISD. We have an open OCR case, Office of Civil Rights. The case number is 0623 1004, 0623 I'm really good at whatever. You know what?
All the
0623 1004. And Amanda Guerba, I know that Alicia's going to respond to you.
yes.
So look at that. Look that IP investigator. Let's IP together. So,
Do that.
Christina, so tell us a little bit about you and your kiddos in the Allen Independent School District and how fantastic it's been.
All right. Well, I've got two. So my oldest has survived till he's 15, nearly 16. And after several years there, we ended up having to pull him in high school so he could get the education that he needed. So, we had our surprise kiddo 10 years after him, and Nicholas was born with a very rare genetic condition called TAR syndrome. It's about 1 in every 200 to 250,000 births worldwide. So it's pretty rare. There is one surgeon worldwide that does surgeries for him in order for him to actually have the ability to walk. So he was complicated. When he was born, his legs were, for those of you that are bendy and do yoga, if you sit like frog pose with your feet flat together, that was how his legs were from birth on to 2.5, because he had no knee joint. So it was one long straight one long bent piece of bone. So after a course of 7 months and 4 surgeries and daily physical therapy, can you believe they start kiddos on physical therapy 4 days after they get out of the hospital? 4 days.
Wow.
4.
That's early.
So,
you mean they believe in intervention, not waiting?
Right. Right. They're in there and, the gauze is still on there from the surgery. So we go through all of that. He comes home. He is, working on a gait trainer. And then he started walking. The kid that I was told would never walk, walks. But he has no arms. So literally his hands grow out of his chest. So you can imagine if you're walking with straight legs, no knees, and nothing to catch yourself. I'm a fall risk as an adult because my coordination's not so hot. My oldest got it from somebody else, not me, because he's coordinated like crazy. Nah, not me. You're a fall risk. So he needs a high level of support all the time to make sure he doesn't hit his head, because the other part of TAR syndrome is a bleeding disorder. So he's at a high risk of spontaneous hemorrhaging if he were to hit his head or another part of his body and internal bleeding pretty much any time. If he bumps into the corner of a desk, he bruises like a peach. So he's not an easy one for sure. And we're using an AAC device, which he is rocking with Chatterbox Therapy Center. They've been phenomenal with him. We've seen so much growth this last, couple of years with them. It's just, he's crazy. He is busy and active but continues to blow every expectation out of the water.
So let me ask you this. So kind of describing Nicholas, even though he doesn't have a full leg with a knee joint and then lower leg, he just stands up. He's ridiculously amazing. He uses an alternate communication system called an AAC, alternate augmented communication, or you might know it as a VOCD, a voice output communication device. And obviously, if your hands grow out of your chest, and you're a little 4-year-old and we're trying to start school this year, did you keep this information from the school? Did you share it with Allen Independent School District? Was it a top secret?
Oh, no. In fact, I came to my oldest's IEP meetings pregnant. I came after I delivered him with the teeny tiny cherub. He sat on office tables while we had meetings, flipping books with his feet. Well aware that he was going to be coming into the educational space, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year down the line. We
Right.
applied for PPCD, and I gave them a ton of background information about, where he was, what his orthopedic needs were, his speech
Yeah.
needs were, what we do at home. And then we had them come in to his school space where he is now, and he's doing so successful and independent, and stayed for a couple of hours and watched.
So
So
can I just ask you, are you one of those crazy parents that we hear about, like that get an advocate and want the school to actually, do their job? I mean, did you ask for something crazy for Nicholas, or what did you ask for that the school was not happy to provide?
I wanted my child with a disability to enter the building and not to be restrained because
Oh,
he's
you wanted him to go into the building?
I did.
Okay, and how were they going to let him go into the building?
They were going to strap him to a chair, and then keep him restrained in a device during the day.
And how do you know they were gonna do that? I mean, how would you even know that?
They were very adamant about it. Every time we met, that was going to happen until he proves that he can be steady and stable, which
So he can prove that he's steady even though he doesn't have arms.
right.
Okay, so when you arrived at the school, did they come out with, some sort of, parade? What happened when you got to the school?
They had me parked in a separate section from other parents that did car drop off, and then came out with this large, kind of looks like a stroller, kind of looks like a device that you would wheel a wheelchair user into a pool with.
And so they must have brought that stroller out because you use a stroller or wheelchair all the time with him, right?
No, he was putting shoes on. He was ready to go.
But I mean, you probably told him it was okay to strap him into a stroller and a 5-point harness, right?
No, we don't restrain him during the day. It is
It's a danger to him, right? Like literally.
danger to him. It's not. That's literally. They've never used it in with his world-renowned surgeon, Paley Institute in Florida. They've never used any kind of restraint devices on him, not even post-op. I mean, it literally has never been on his body. It's not used. There's so many potentials because of his very unique body structure there and all the hardware we now have. There's
Right.
so many potential risks, and
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So they strap him in a harness. You're really nice, something that I've never been accused of. Ugh. And because you're trying to work with them, but they did let you see inside of the classroom one time, right? So when you went inside the classroom, what did you see inside of the classroom that was going to be Nicholas's setting?
I didn't see there was no VOCD, so I didn't know how they were going to communicate with him and
You mean
exchange.
you wanted them to communicate with him in his language?
Yeah.
Oh, so you really are, it seems like you
I
are one of those picky parents.
I am. He likes to talk.
Yeah.
I
And
like to say.
so when you open the bathroom door in the room, because those early kiddo rooms have their own bathroom, I'm sure that they did something to support Nicholas. What did you see?
I saw a plastic toilet on the
What?
floor, like you would get it. Plastic toilet, like you get at Target.
A plastic toilet, like for when you potty train a toddler
Right.
in a this is a public school?
This is a public school.
Do
So
you
it's next
often,
to,
like, do you travel with a plastic toilet?
no, he
Well,
uses a regular.
I mean, just to be fair, he hadn't been there, Christina. So how do you know the plastic toilet was for him? It might have just been a prop for a story or something that day.
It had his name in big, bold print.
A what?
It had his name. It was assigned to him.
So it
It was
said, oh, and so
yeah.
the plastic toilet, I'm sure, was plumbed into the ground like all toilets are in public buildings, correct?
No.
Did
No.
it have like little batteries? So when you did the little thing, it made the noise.
He would have loved that, but no. I don't
And
even
you,
think it had batteries.
and at this point, because I'm not stable and you are, God bless you, did you flip a table? Did you use all of your colorful words?
I took a lot of deep breaths and asked what would happen about soap, water, how he washes his hands, how he gets to
Well, hold
anything.
on. You want him to have an education. You want him to be able to use a handicap bathroom, and you want him to wash his hands? I mean, Christina, come on. We are busy at schools. We're very busy, and we have a shortage. We have
Yes.
ma'am.
Do we have a shortage of plumbers?
Well, I don't, yeah. So,
We
when
can't
you
read
left,
the smart. No. The
so when
smart
you saw
board.
but you saw the motor lab, I'm sure that was accessible for him, right?
Not. Mm-mm.
So you
There's
saw the playground must have been handicap accessible because it's Allen ISD.
no.
And well, the front, the
One
front.
campus. That one campus had two separate playgrounds, and the flooring for the PPCD would have been okay, but there was nothing he could do except for sit on that flooring and watch other children play.
And didn't when you talked to a teacher said these kids could dip chalk and water and write on the wall
Yes.
instead of going to the playground? Because I feel like that's equal access, right?
Yes, and sometimes they blow bubbles.
Oh, they blow bubbles.
They blow
Okay.
bubbles.
So, but he probably had access to the smart board, right?
No.
He probably had access to adaptive seating.
There was one with a strap. There
Oh, a
was one with
strap, another seat with a strap.
more straps.
And
More straps.
and was there a mount for his VOCD?
There was a floor mount that looked like it probably would work perfectly next to that chair all the time.
The chair, that little like lounge chair they're going to strap him in, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know why you wouldn't have left him there that day. I mean, you have a plastic potty with his name on it. I feel like it's like customized. It's a Rifton chair. Thank you, Miss Bailey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just going to Rifton. He was going to roll in his plastic stroller. And then they were going to put a gate belt around his tummy, right? With like a little a leash on it.
Little loops.
A little loop. And then so they're going to keep him on a little gate belt leash, right? So if he fell, they could just like yank him up real quick.
Well, remember, he doesn't have armpits. And so what happens, and this is what I showed them, is it slips right up. But they can just
I think that they did offer Christina to make adjustments since it was going to slide up. They were going to just, make it tighter.
Yes, but blood disorder, bruising, which
blood disorder. Okay. Yes.
Which already occurred.
Yes. Yeah. And so some of the questions are, did you not go over this with the committee ahead of time?
They've known he was coming for the last 5 years because of my oldest, and a lot of
did you not have IEP meetings ahead of time? Did you not have 7 IEP meetings from April forward?
Yes, where they actually came and observed him.
Okay. So that was in August. Things change, opportunities change. So you just had a meeting with them a few weeks ago for your annual IEP meeting. And when you asked them about ADA compliance, what did they say?
That they're not sure that should actually apply to Nicholas because he needs so many things.
So I think the quote was, I don't even know if ADA compliance is a consideration for Nicholas based on his severe disabilities and what he needs in general. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that means he's too disabled to come to school?
That's exactly what it sounds like.
And what
Yes.
do you think was the one thing that you asked for or your advocate asked for in the IEP meeting that sent them over the edge? And by the way, I'm her advocate, and I am very well behaved in meetings. And so based on Nicholas's unique circumstances, and he's doesn't have arms, and he's going to always be probably unstable. I asked for, wait for it, for him to have a dedicated para, right? So they could do two things, right? So we could have a communication partner to really learn his robust VOCD and, you know, make sure that they're in proximity so he can access all of his adaptations that he needs. Do you remember if that was well received?
Absolutely not.
Like I'd asked for, I don't know, like the
You might have
Pope.
had better luck. Yeah, you might have had better luck if you asked to rent out the campus
The whole
for
campus.
the weekend for a party.
Yes, yes. But I think that so we just asked for a one-on-one, right? So did they offer you a one-on-one?
No, no, they offered me a restraint and a gate belt.
But I do think that they did offer you somebody. We finally got to the place where they said that somebody would be assigned to him, correct? Like 13 people.
Rodeo. Yeah, there's a rodeo situation happening.
Yeah, so they told us that they would rotate every day 13 people. Say it with me. Instead of assigning him a dedicated professional, paraprofessional, or due to, a backup one, they would have 13 people a day that rotated in and out. So I don't know that would be a good educational environment for any child, that you would rotate somebody in and out for 4 hours a day. Right?
Yeah, and how are they going to do with his language? Are they all going to be that proficient on AAC?
So we're having a press conference. You'll be there. I'll be there. Hundreds of millions of people will be there. Everybody's invited. So we filed with the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights, and we want you to know that you have rights. We want to train you. We want you to learn to use that dispute resolution option with Advocacy, and there is a very specific way that you use that. And the U.S. Department of Education has opened it up for 6 allegations. And so we would like for you guys to be there. We would like for you to be there. We'll go live on the TikTok. We will be live in the person. We'll be live on Facebook. So any questions that you guys have ahead of time, if you want me to address them, whether they're in relation to special ed in America, in Texas, the shenanigans that are in Allen ISD, we want to address them, because while this is an egregious situation that has happened to this, my beautiful friend, and I'm pretty sure she's an angel from heaven, because I would have probably put a candy bar in somebody's gas tank and then worked it out with my creator. What we want change. So 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we want change. Like, this is, unfortunately, this is not unique, that schools just stick their position and do not move. And when I tell you we've had meetings with a large amount of people. And I don't know if they follow me on the TikTok. I hope they're here now, because I'm not going away. The people that I train and serve aren't going away. The advocates that I train aren't going away. So, somebody just said, why did you go through due process first? And I said, you know why, Sarah? Because Texas, let's say it together, Texas ranks 50th, 50, in special education delivery services. And so kind of, when you're talking about due process, you're talking about services for a student. When you're talking about the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights, if you have the time to wait, you're talking about real compensatory time to the student. And so we want what's right for Nicholas to happen. I filed on all of their playgrounds in the school district, and I have a big mouth, and I'm going to run it. And so we want change. There's nothing about any place in America that shouldn't have accessible buildings, front doors, toilet paper, soap, sinks. Think of every child that has a mobility issue, concerns like Nicholas, or AFOs, or a stander or a walker, or needs support. These children don't ever even go outside ever to play on the playground, right? And this playground is covered in mulch. Thank you very much. There's no handicap equipment. And, schools pat themselves on the back that they're doing some great job. So, in some places we're not far behind 1975, and I'm not going to put up for it. So we want you guys to join us. We're going to have the actual complaint delivered to a news station that's going to cover the story. But we want you to know so that you know that you have rights as well, whether you use any of your 6 dispute resolution options. And we want them to know how stinking smart that this kiddo is. What I do know is that every child can learn. I really know that when we give them the right supports. And that I know that every child is teachable. And most children are correctable. Adults, that's another conversation. So, Angelique Smith, are you coming? Oh, if she came, it would be on. Bonnie would have to yes. So we don't waver, waffle, or water it down. If you waver, waffle, or water it down, you're part of the problem. So we've had enough wavering, waffling, and watering it down. And giving ourselves excuses. Every child has the right to be a successful adult for the next 75 years of their lives after school, but they all have equal value, whether they're the valedictorian, the captain of the football team, the drum major, or just an amazing kiddo in the district. So we're excited. So come on down. We're going to have fun, till my dad takes the keys away. Is that a song?
Yes.
So thank you. Actually, Christina, we all want to thank you. You are so kind. And Christina's always this nice. Christina is also an amazing advocate. If you guys need her, you can find her at Let's IEP Together, which is not Let's Poke You in the Eye with a Sharp Stick Together. That's not her name. And she still believes in public education. And we both believe there's no better setting than public education when we get it right. Strapping a child, and we'll have the pictures there, into a plastic stroller, and he was in the parking lot wanting to go in the school, and he wasn't even allowed to go in the school. So this is just a little tiny bit of her story, but I wanted Christina to share it. So do you guys have specific questions for Christina? I'm gonna let the great Alicia, Bonnie, and Shannon, does anybody have specific questions for the great Christina, how you get to be this nice? Do you do a training on being nice?
You have a lot of support. A lot of people out here are super upset, Christina. They're ready to go fight with you. One person did ask, what services was Nicholas already receiving on his IEP, and what type of classroom was he in? So they must have missed the beginning.
Yeah, so I'll respond to that. So he's a baby. So he was 4. So he was going to start his, those early years, and then he just turned 5. So we were just asking for just regular cognitive goals, regular language goals. But it was the more that we asked for just regular support, the more they added people and really hateful people. I don't mind a little tension. I don't mind a little sarcasm. I don't mind healthy banter, but I mean truly hateful. I don't put up with that. And so how long did it take the OCR to investigate? That's a good question. So when OCR gets a case, there's many steps. So you send it in. I probably have almost 70 cases open right now. And then they have so many days to respond to you. Then you have an interview, and then they take it back to a team so that it's not predetermination, and decide if they're going to open it up for investigation. When they open it up for investigation, which they just did, then they have 6 months to complete all the components that they're doing. And there's many options for the parent to resolve things. But obviously this is not, I can't make this parent trust this school district when they felt very comfortable doing all of these things and continuing to back up the plastic toilet on the floor with no plumbing 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we've even moved. And in the meeting, I actually said to the executive director, who had said nothing the whole time, I said, so do you have anything to say? Because this is on your watch. We have attorneys here. We have all the things, and I'm not an attorney. And he said, Well, first he gave me a dirty look, which I love that. And then he said, I just feel like we're too far apart on these issues. And I said, that I actually agree with you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's that.
He
Anyway,
thinks
so
it-
we're
Christina, someone asked, what are you doing for education while this is all going on?
Yes. So he is at a amazing private program right now at Chatterbox Therapy Center in Dallas. They work exclusively with kids that use alternative communication devices. So he is getting full immersion in his language all day, bell to bell. So he's doing the curriculum there and is doing fantastic.
yeah. But I mean,
Yay.
Christina showed up with him at school in the lobby with her child, and they literally said, no, 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 and ushered her back into the parking lot. You know, you can't come in.
Mm-hmm.
Like school had started. You know, we're not ready for him. What? And so, you know me, I sent her right back in the next day. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
So she went back in person 4 times. So yeah, I'm really serious. And
Right.
so Nicholas is like, can you imagine taking your child to school? Got his little backpack ready, and he's like, class, and then she has to take him back to the car.
Mhm.
Like all those other kids get to walk in, but you can't walk in. So unacceptable. And we're super thankful that she's generous enough to share her journey. And we are gonna make that school famous. Like, as we say in Mexico, famoso.
That's right. We have one more, and it's from Token Cheesehead, so we love her.
Yes.
She just wants to know, has Christina always been a strong advocate?
Has Christina always been a strong advocate?
Yep.
You know what? Christina actually always has been a strong advocate. She came to us about a year ago. We've been training her. She's one of our affiliates now. You know, like most parents that come to my training, they beat themselves up because she feels like she failed her first child because she trusted the school process, and literally they went back and forth filing due process. Like this is not her first rodeo. Like, and she assumed, I'm not being disrespectful, but it's very visible what Nicholas is. Just in a short, you can see that he has these disabilities, right? So she didn't have any bandwidth that there would be any problem, much less this pushback. And so we are going to break up the shenanigans. It's just so awful. Most people in special ed are amazing, but when you have people that are awful, they're really awful. And so, you know, this is a school district with a football stadium that costs $70 million. It seats 18,000 people, but there's only 21,000 kids in the district. But Nicholas can't get support, but he did get a plastic potty. So you know what? We're about to start a potty because the potty's on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Christina, it's time for you to jump on this side.
Okay. Thank you, Christina. Can people reach out to you if they need to share their support and any suggestions?
Yes, definitely. So I'm on here, Let's IEP Together, or you can also find the website and reach out to me there. I'm happy to help you out with your kiddos and walk you through whatever you need. I've got some other friends on here. Janelle. So we have an amazing other mama on here that has a oh god, is Drew 14 now? 14-year-old guitar. So she was actually the one that said, you know, they're glad they're not in Texas because they didn't have this experience.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it is.
We're going to get it right, one campus at a time. So thank you, Christina. We can't wait to hear the follow-up after we have it's going down. We're yelling timber. You didn't know I also sang, did you? All right, we'll see you after next week, kiddo.
All right, see you soon.
All right. So some questions. Thank you guys all for being patient. Is that a word?
Yeah, I love you. We have a few that go to Christina's case, but I figured you could answer those. One of them was, how do you work to repair the relationship with the school district so Nicholas can attend?
Yeah, so, it's not really about the relationship. It's about now there's going to be evidence that we can trust you, right? You were going to roll a child into a campus strapped in front of me, and you told me you're going to give him a plastic potty, and then you told me that ADA compliance wasn't even probably a consideration for him. So that's the problem. I believe you. I believe that you don't want him there. I believe that you are not going to make the ADA requirements for him to access his education. And so they would have to show a robust amount of changed behavior, changed leadership, and changed educational product to benefit him.
Yes. I can't read her name. I think it's Tell It Like It Is, Mom. I think that's what it is.
Tell it like it is. I like that.
I like it. If an IEP student misses for a doctor's appointment, is there another option besides Saturday school?
Saturday school's not a thing. You guys, I love you. What is it? Alicia, I feel like you're making these questions up. Like these people like, are you guys like on a movie? Saturday school? No. So if a child misses for doctor's appointments, that's an excused absence up until a certain number. Obviously, when the student misses, there's no requirement to make up that educational product. However, if the teacher misses, then you certainly, or the service provider, then you certainly have to make up those times.
Yes. And then we have one who's asking, what trainings can I take from you? My son has Down syndrome, and we are in Tomball ISD.
Tomball. I love Tomball ISD. So we have our 2-day training that's coming up, so you should come because you're here. We have a lot of fun, a lot of amazing equipping of parents and school-based members. The 14th and the 15th of January, over 3/4 of the people that we train are school-based members. You will learn more than you've ever learned in special education before noon. That I guarantee. Your head will hurt from all the information that you have, so you can go back and be an amazing diagnostician, be an amazing parent, be an amazing principal, be an amazing equal team member as you serve kiddos with an IEP or a 504.
Yes. How can they retain a child with neurodevelopmental delays?
So retention has nothing to do with special education. It's an administrative decision between the parent and admin. As an advocate, there really is very few times that I would be able to get behind that. But for kiddos that are in kindergarten, I certainly can get behind that if you haven't met all of your requirements. If you've been hospitalized, there are some very unique situations. But having a child repeat the grade very rarely will remedy the problem if it in fact is a special education problem.
Yes. All good things. All good things. Someone said, have y'all seen Karen on her comedy tour? She's hilarious.
Have y'all seen me on my comedy tour? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked, could you go train my last SPED cooperative? They need someone like you to train them correctly.
Yeah, so we do teacher professional development all the time. Going to do a great school district in a few weeks. Going to train at a state conference in a couple of months. So I train nationally for the American Printing House for the Blind, Learning Disabilities of America, Tourette's Society of America, Tourette's Association of America. So yes, if you have a group that needs training, I would love to come and train them.
And I don't know if Shannon or Bonnie maybe seen it, but Carrie, all I can find is, what is my next step? I can't find the first part of her comment. I don't know if maybe y'all seen it. While we're all looking for that, Jat's Mama 4 said, my son has been tested twice and he doesn't qualify. I think she meant 2 points deviation, but she put 22 points deviation. His IQ is 86. Help.
I bet she's in Missouri. That 22.5 deviation is some bologna sauce. So under IDEA, it's just the federal law, even if you're in Missouri or Indiana. that is one of the ways that you can make a kiddo eligible. The great thing is under Child Fine 300.111D, which stands for DUH, it actually says a student doesn't even have to be listed by an eligibility as long as we know as a committee that this student is in need of special education and related services, and we provide that. See, the federal government went into the future and said, listen, there's going to be arguing, so let's just stop all that. Another way is you can look at the RTI model, which should qualify everybody. That's an RTI that's not effective. So we're not, it's just the opposite. We're actually not tied to something. There's great liberty in federal code and state statutes.
All right. And then Tell It Like It Is Mom said she's in Salina. She was the one that asked the question about the Saturday school. She said she's in Salina ISD and they are claiming the 90% rule. And then someone right under her said their son's school is doing the same thing. They're forcing Saturday school or makeup packets that they have to complete.
Right. So here's what I would want to know. There are exceptions for kids in special education, right? So while, like, I was just in the great state of Florida yesterday, thank you, Southwest Airlines, I love you, your snacks, and for getting me home. There are exceptions for general ed. There are exceptions for types of teachers. There are no exceptions for special education. Let me say that again. There are no exceptions for special education, delivery, and so people just walk blindly and follow whatever the school says. I want you to stop that. I want you to email your DOE, your Department of Education, your state education agency, and say, hey, my kiddo's on an IEP. Is this applicable to me? And then at the end of your email, you put, show me where that is in the code. Tell me where that is in the code. Tell me where that is in the code. Because we just listen to people at schools and they sound really like they're telling you the truth. And you just follow them. So if it's the law, and it could be, I'm always learning every day and I'm wrong, then show me the law. And then we can talk about Saturday school.
Okay, so this one's actually about Saturday school. They told us they only waive their 5-day if we do the packets for Saturday school, even if they're under a doctor's orders.
So the Saturday school, I'm going to need y'all to send me the statute. It either is a state statute, it ain't a federal statute, so it either exists as a state statute, meaning the entire state voted on it. And I promise you, if in your state they voted on Saturday school, it would have been on the television.
And then user 669721030555270 asked, do you ever sit in a classroom to observe?
I don't sit in a classroom to observe. No, I would have no need to do that. I don't work in school buildings. I'm not an amazing educator. I prep my clients for special education IEP meetings, 504 meetings. But no, I don't sit in a classroom to observe. That would be the role of school-based members and multidisciplinary team evaluators.
Okay. Did y'all have any chance finding Carrie Ann's comment? No? Okay. Carrie Ann, you just got to have to comment again. We're missed the question. Are there any districts or states that you would recommend for better SPED programs?
Yeah, any of them. Any of them. Any state, any district. As long as they're run by humans that love children, have great leadership, and follow their responsibilities and duties under IDEA, ADA, 504, OCR, their state requirements, and federal government. Yeah. So the thing about schools, districts, and states is they're run by people. And some people are broken, and broken people run broken systems. And people that are ugly run ugly SPED departments. But teachers and leadership and SPED leaders that are special ed, like it's in their bones, they're amazing. Unfortunately, I could tell you where those places are, but those people that are great, they move, right?
That's right. And then we only have 14 minutes left. So someone asked about the Academy, which is in 14 minutes. So go ahead and tell them about that.
The Academy is fantastic. So the weekly Academy is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. if you're in the Central Standard Time zone. Every Tuesday, we train on the federal law and the applications on state law. And then somebody just said, ask if we have a checklist for IEP meetings. And so I haven't done a thing about it, but Alicia's going to remind me. We just produced an amazing parent IEP portfolio. And with that portfolio comes an hour training so that you know how to walk in as a gangsta parent advocate and be ready to advocate for your kiddos. So we just have that available on our website.
Okay, perfect. Yes, we do. It is awesome, if I say so myself. Anyways, a couple of people are asking about how to get an advocate.
So there's 3 ways I'd recommend to get an advocate. Wherever you live, I would reach out to your Department of Education, your state department, and say, hey, dear Georgia, do you have a list of advocates and or attorneys? Almost all states do. Doesn't mean that they back them. It just is a list that's commonly used in their state. Number 2, I would use COPA, Coalition of Parent Advocates and Attorneys. They have lists of them nationally. Or the best way is to get an advocate from us. Our advocate teams, our affiliates, have been personally trained by me for over 100 hours to provide you the same sort of level of excellence that I would provide if I was actually representing you. So you would just reach out to admin@specialeducationacademy.com.
Perfect. Someone did ask, how do you write an effective goal for self-advocacy? Should there be instruction for it?
So it depends on the student's disability first and what kind of self-advocacy, right? So it could be anything from how they talk about their needs at home. It could be specific to ECC, expanded core curriculum, if they're deaf, blind, deaf and hard of hearing, a vision impairment. But self-advocacy is something that we need to have kids do after we taught them and after we train them, right? We want these kids to do stuff when we didn't ever train them. We want kids to stand up for themselves. We want kids to ask for their accommodations. Why? Why don't you just give them their accommodations and there wouldn't be any asking? So an IEP goal is first based around the student's unique circumstances. So I would have to know what are the student's disabilities, their medical needs, and how do they show up at school from bell to bell and possibly from bus to bus.
Okay.
Don't y'all love when Alicia goes, okay?
Sorry.
Because she's really smart.
I'm really focusing. I'm trying to read these comments. Ronnie, who's a teacher, and also said, Christina, you could take Nicholas over to her classroom. She got you, except for I think they ran her out of the district because she was advocating for kids too much. So
Ronnie, then you need to come train with us. We take all school district runaways and train them.
That's right. But Ronnie was asking if they're using House Bill 4545 still.
If they are using it?
I guess like maybe in regards to the Saturday school. I'm still, scrolling. So
House Bill 4545 is some shenanigans. It's something that you have to offer a student. It's not a requirement. So all of you that think it's a requirement, you were lied to. Let's say it together. I was lied to, right? So when you mispresent stuff, it's called lying. So nobody had to make up hours for House Bill 4545. The school districts had to offer that opportunity for that. And so y'all been lied to. It's unfortunate. And plus, usually kiddos that don't pass the state testing, they're usually not 1 or 2 grades behind. They're several grades behind. So your House Bill 4545 imaginary tutoring hours would be more grade level information, but you're not even at grade level, so there's that. But other than that, you were lied to.
This one is from Caught in the Wild. She asks, does weekly data tracking sheets have to be written into the IEP?
It's smart if you write them in. So under an IEP goal, I'm always going to say where it says method of evaluation so that we don't just collect data in our hearts. I just collect that in my heart. It's just what I feel. I write weekly data collection sheets. So then I know that we agree that this IEP goal is tracked at minimum once a week.
I keep data on all of these wonderful commenters in my heart.
You do. That's because you're a data guru.
That's right. Amanda asks, do you hire school psychs on your team as a consult remotely?
So we train people to build their own business. And if you were a psych, you would be so busy, so quick. There are 605,000 children in Texas with an IEP. So if you just said, I just do IEPs just in Texas, you're busy, right? And we would love to have a site to do IEEs. I'd be all over that, like all over that. So yes, come on down. We will train you and you'll be ridiculously amazing. Everybody that we train are ridiculously amazing, except for one person. They didn't turn out to be, they just turned out to be ridiculous.
Just ridiculous.
They never got the A part.
All right, I'm going to take 5 more questions because then we have to jump off to go to the academy.
Jump off.
Someone said they need your advice. The teacher who did her son's IEP has name called him and the son and felt she was in the right. Who does that sound like? Have you experienced that before?
So we don't let teachers shame children, period. So that would be a staffing issue. I would have my child removed from that setting because it's unsafe. That's a conversation I would have with the principal.
I found Carrie Ann. Carrie Ann, we found you. She said, my school is continuously violating the IEP, and I've literally contacted everyone. What is my next step?
You would find an amazing advocate, and you would file with OCR. But make sure that that advocate knows how to file OCR. Otherwise, they're going to blow it. Most OCR filings are thrown out because you don't know how to have the conversation with a federal attorney during the hour interview.
Yes. And then Tiffany Bestie 539, I just love her statement, so I'm going to share with you. It says, listen here, team, I'm an expert gangsta now, so let's get this IEP nonsense figured out.
I like that.
That's how she's going to enter her next IEP meeting for her son. That's what she said.
I'm going to just answer this. Somebody said, can we do OCR ourselves? You can. You can also represent yourself in court by yourself. If you don't know what you're doing in the filing, it'll just be kicked out. And if you don't know how to handle the phone call and the interview, you will have it dismissed. And I've trained for years to do it. You're talking to a federal attorney about federal allegations. If you don't know what those federal allegations are and the very limited scope of what OCR opens as it relates to an IEP or 504, you're probably going to over talk because you're passionate, and they will dismiss it and direct you to a state complaint.
Amen. Becky with the baby girls, I remember her. I don't know if you remember her.
Yes.
I remember. Becky, you have been remembered. She said, are there advocates that could advise a bunch of parents for a certain school? There's multiple issues going on.
It's a slippery slope, right? I understand there's a bunch of issues going on. I do file, they're called systemic complaints with OCR, but that's something I would have a conversation with you off of this.
Correct. That's a good answer. I love you.
If I don't have good answers, I'm going to be in trouble with Alicia later.
That's right. Lovey Linda, I think is what her name is, asks if she can speak with you. She has an issue and needs your help.
Yeah, just email us at admin@specialeducationacademy.com if you want consideration for representation by myself, whether it's in a filing or in meetings.
Amen to that. And someone asked when the next 2-day is and where is it at?
It's in Houston, Texas, January 14th and 15th, and it's going to be amazing. We also have it online, and then we have it the 18th and 19th of February. Both of those are the day after is a federal holiday, so hopefully that will help teachers get there.
If someone asks if you hire teachers to work with you.
I hire humans that are amazing. So half of the people behind me that are generously moderating tonight were teachers, and we call them quitters. And so they were not able to effectively help kids in special ed from the inside out. So now they are affecting change for kiddos from the outside in. And we would love to have you if that's something that you want to do.
And then Carrie Ann asked if when we email you, if the situation is overly complicated, does someone then call you to talk?
So when you email us, we send you an intake form, which you will fill out, which will give us a framework of what's going on before we have our consult call.
All right. And are you ready for the last one of the night? I'm just going to randomly pick one.
I'm ready.
Close my.
Okay, close. Okay, just like a bingo draw. Oh.
Yeah, stop.
And stop.
All right. Have you ever heard where residential comes before homebound in regard?
Not at all. So they're two different things. So residential, which is like probably the most rare consideration, right? So we have out-of-district day school, out-of-district public day placement. We have psychiatric units. Residential is where somebody they live, right? Homebound could be for a general ed student, a 504 student, or a special education student that based on the student accountability and handbook, right? We're counting them absent or here. We assume based on a doctor's information that the student is expected to miss up to 4 weeks of school this year and is in need of their instruction to be homebound at this time.
All right. And then one more time, give them the press conference information.
The press conference information is at 612 East Bethany Drive, Allen, Texas, 75002. We will be there at 2 o'clock. We'll be there a little bit early. And then we're going to stay as long as you guys want. If you guys want to have your voice heard, if you want us to read something, if you want us to answer questions, because I know the landline, she gonna send in some questions. And I know that
I just need a sheet of her comebacks, and then we can just all say
yes.
those.
So if you have questions and you can't be there, please email us those. I'm going to address all of them. I'm going to talk till our concerns are heard and responded to.
Amen. And then they can email you at
admin@specialeducationacademy.com, admin@specialeducationacademy.com. Somebody amazing will put it in there. Because, that's what advocates do. They speak for people that aren't able to speak at that moment. And so thank you guys for being in school. Thank you for loving kiddos. Thank you guys for wanting to learn. Thank you guys for even being spicy and crunchy. We love it. Oh, look, forever loving Boujou. I'm a quitter. We live for a good quitter. We'll raise you up like wings of eagles and all the things. Spicy forever. Can landline raise? Can we just buy her one-liners? Spicy forever. That's so funny.
I know. I just want a book of her one-liners.
I know. Like in the middle of the table, like there's a procedural safeguards, parents right to the IEP process, and then landlines, spicy comebacks. Yeah. Yes. So we love you guys. I'm getting the look. So I'm going to jump on to our training. If you need something, let us know. And then we'll see you live at 2 p.m. Central, Tuesday at Allen ISD so that they can respond to the shenanigans. And we'll address shenanigans, whether it's Texas Education Agency or Special Education in America. We love you guys. Please remember, when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. And we get it right a lot. We'll see you in the next training.